Yo, 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 yo. We are back. Episode 1, episode 11. I love 11. You know what? I was born on the 11th. We got a cool episode. You guys know who I am. I am Born Rebel, aka Zen. I am once again welcoming you to Meeting of the Gold Mines. And yeah, we got some things to talk about. The title of this week's episode is Hardwood to Hollywood. We are talking about the GOAT of sports films. Also, going to talk about the Hollywood strike. We got a special guest that's going to be with us later, Miss Monique Henry of What We Watch. That's going to be a great conversation. But before we get to that, you know, we have to speak about the only team in Los Angeles worthwhile of a conversation and a podcast. It is the Los Angeles Lakers. And you know, I got my fellow gold mines with me today. And shit, we even got the newest member of the fam joining us. So let me introduce them. He is the fan of the 0-2 Bengals, Mr. Playoff Mode. You can find yes, people. There's a reason why I said that. We got announcement to make. But like I said, he is the fan of the 0-2 Bengals. He is playoff mode. You can find him on the Twitter at RetroD3X. Playoff. How you doing, brother? How's your Bengals doing?
I think I'm doing better than the Bengals are. Yeah, I mean, gotten off to a rough start, but the season is young. So they started off 0-2 last season and got to the AFC Championship. Obviously, you don't want to start the season, like that. What's worse is it looks like Burrow may have tweaked his calf injury that he was dealing with previously. So hoping, he's going to be able to play, but I'm good. Like I said, sucks to see him be 0-2, but I'm still confident in the squad. So, but happy to be
Hey,
here talking. Happy to be here chopping it
at
up.
least you have the highest paid player in the history of the NFL, so you can feel good about that.
Yeah,
Um,
we got that going for us. So
hey,
small
he hey small victories.
small
Hey,
victories.
he's been gone for a minute, but he is back like cook crack. You can find him at chasing number with the A, not a ER, because ER is wrong. 18. He is a huge fan of the 0-2 Minnesota Vikings, and he holds that record with great pride. It is the context king. What's up, my brethren? Wagwan, how's your Vikings doing?
Man, we're probably the best 0-2 team you're ever gonna see because
Absolutely.
goodness
Oh my
gracious,
gosh.
there's piles of context to go into that 0-2 record, which we're not gonna get into now. But yeah,
You
we'll
know,
be
eh, eh, you know who you are. You're the guy that lives in the penthouse of the projects. That's who you are. You live in the penthouse of the
yeah. I mean,
projects.
you gotta you. It's always a method to the madness. So.
Always a method to the madness. Hey, but this guy right here, he is sitting pretty. He is the he is the king of mediocrity when it comes to this football thing. He is at KBBRWN22, and he is a huge fan of the 1-1 Raiders. What's up, KB? You are the coach of Purple and Gold Mines. What's up, man?
There's only one team. I do not celebrate Vegas, but it is what it is. We're 1-1. Doing pretty good. We're sitting at 1-1. We got, I'm not gonna say that. We lost to the Bills. Nothing else to put to that. We lost. Very bad loss. If anybody wants to go ahead and watch that game again, you be my guest. But yeah,
Pass.
doing pretty good. Going pretty good. I know you're not talking 0-2.
Hey, you know what's hey, look, man. I can talk shit all I want, but let me just tell you how bad my week has been. So, about 2 weeks ago, I filed my transfer papers. Once again, this is my second time doing it from getting my transfer from the Green Bay Packers to the New York Jets. I did it the first time I did it the first time in '08 with Favre, right? Filled out the paperwork, got us approved. All right, cool. And first quarter, I think it was play number 4.
Yeah.
So
And yeah,
the 2010 Aaron Rodgers championship, you can't claim that.
no, you're right. I cannot claim that because the year before I was burning everything green and yellow because I was a Vikings fan for one year. I was a Vikings fan for 1 year.
So
And
hey,
then
the irony,
Oh gosh.
you're a Vikings fan.
no, I was for a year, but then I got the
But wait,
transfer. I
when
got
you
the
put
transfer. Yeah,
in transfer papers, you're
yes.
transferring your services to the
No,
other
let me
team.
tell you. Let me tell you how I got my transfer papers back.
Welcome aboard,
Because
sir.
let me tell you how I got my transfer papers back to Green Bay on Madden. Because when I was playing like what Madden 13,
What?
I ran. Look, I ran 3 plays. Okay, with Aaron Rodgers, and his scrambling ability in Madden is underrated. So I put in my papers. Got them approved, and I was all right, cool. But then I saw it. But then once last year came, I was like, oh shit, got to get some new transfer papers. I had them on standby. Here we like now. Now the fact that he was going back to the Jets, it made the transfer easy. Been
Right.
here before.
How many
And
Already got it notarized from New York, so
how many transfers are you allowed within the season? Like,
zero. And when it comes to me, you cannot. You start with a team, you cannot leave them.
yeah, so right now, right, right now where it is, it's like I got the transfer papers, right, but they said I can't get it the stamp, like the ink is refilling and it doesn't, and it's gonna stay empty for like another 15 weeks, so I can't get the new transfer for about another 15 weeks.
so
So
you're stuck in the transfer portal right now. You can't
yes,
transfer
yes, I am
nowhere.
stuck in the transfer portal. I am stuck in the I'm like, he went down, and I'm just. And the sad thing is, I went to get something to drink. I went to get something to drink. Like I went to get
Exactly.
something to
And
drink.
the season was over that quick.
Exactly.
It was like, wait. Oh,
Crazy.
I came back and I was just like, wait, hold on. And yeah, he went.
The funny thing is, a lot of people picked the Jets to win the Super Bowl, and now they're 0-2.
Man, he went from waving the
They won
American
one.
flag.
Yeah, they won it. Yeah, they won
One
it.
on one. They did beat the Bills.
He went from waving the flag to waving bye-bye within 2 minutes.
Mm.
Right.
But yeah, so it's ugly. It's ugly. But look, we got more football talk coming up soon. But in Lakerland, hey, you guys already know it's off season. We are waiting for. I think we're about at the time of the
Training
recording.
camp.
We're about 20 days away from training camp. 21 days. Media day is
Mhm.
coming up soon. So we're about to turn the corner. Not much news going on, but a couple things. The Vandalorian, he got an extension, 4 years, 48 million. Start off with KB. KB, what you thought about it?
I'm glad we just keep locking up these youngsters, so we can. I know a lot of Braun fans ain't in here. Sorry, Tone. Sorry, anybody else who we chat with. We are gearing up for LeBron to not come back, and I am fine with that. The younger you get, the better it go. So I'm fine with that. I'm just glad we're locking up younger players. What I am scared of is, I think we mentioned this already, Zen, when we talked about this in previous recordings. I don't want to talk like we're going to trade these young players for another guy. I don't want to think like that yet. I just want to focus on the season because the season hasn't even started yet. Me and King have also had that conversation as well. But where I'm at with that is got him on a good contract, 4 years. It's dope, good price, a lower price than what I thought we were going to sign him at. And yeah, it can get better than that. So bring on LeBron James vacation camp, whatever that camp's called. I call it a freaking a Boy Scout camp because all they do is freaking do
One in
bonding shit.
San
So
Diego.
yeah,
In San
there you
Diego.
go. Yep, San
All
Diego
right. Well,
to the beach.
um, King, what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on the 4 year extension?
Hey, good number. Rob Pelinka is getting a lot of he's getting all of his signings at a manageable. I'm not thinking about trade stuff. I mean, we have so many people come in our spaces and talk about, oh, they have so many contracts to trade and they have these pieces they can put together for this package. And we all know that that's the Laker way. We like to get young assets, package them together, and trade them off of stars. I think this is going to be a turn, and I think Anthony Davis is the star, the only star that they really are going to need, and they're going to try to turn Austin Reeves into a star. I think he's the next one. With Rui, I know he doesn't have that star level, but he's Japanese. He gives them another audience. So yeah, I think this is going to be the core at least for the next 4 or 5 years. So yeah, just adding Vando to the list is just putting another young player that can really excel at what we need him to do.
Yeah, look, I'm with you. Playoff. How you feeling about this, man?
Excited. I mean, I think for the longest time, all the talk on social media was that Genie Bus was cheap, and so it's like, all these moves that have been made in the off season, it's like you don't really hear that talk anymore. How can anyone even open their mouth and begin to say that? But really excited for Vando. I mainly knew him before when he was on the Timberwolves, and he always seemed to be a defensive player that could give LeBron some issues sometimes. Not completely stop him, but just kind of bother him a little bit. And I mean, when he got traded to the Lakers last year, he was definitely our best wing defender, and it was something that the Lakers had sorely been missing for a while. And so, happy that he's locked up. I kind of seen like the chatter going around was maybe like 10 for or 40 over 4 years or 44 over 4 years. But I think 48 over 4 years is not it's not bad at all. Really manageable contract. It's disappointing because you see immediately a player gets signed or gets an extension, and there's a certain section of the Laker fan base that's like going to the trade machine and trying to figure out like, okay, hey, we can put this contract together, put this player with this player and this player and package that for Kyrie or whoever it may be. And it's like, can we at least see what this team looks like to begin the year before we start talking about, potential trades and all this other stuff? But I'm just excited for the season to begin. And, I don't know if like later we'll be getting into like potential lineups, but I'm hoping that the extension kind of gives weight to the idea that maybe Vando should be in the starting lineup. But that's something that we can discuss in a little bit.
Oh yeah. When it comes to potential lineups, I know, we'll definitely be doing deep dives into that closer to training camp,
Okay.
preseason. But I felt good about it. First of all, 12 million, pretty much that's close to the mid-level, like last year's mid-level exception. Um, Rob Pelinka, I think Vando was the last piece to the puzzle, and even it wasn't something that we even had to take care of. We could have let him go into free agency. One thing that I really do like that's so different from last off season is, last off season it was, we had that $47 million player option hanging over our heads for with the Westbrook's contract. And not to, I'm not don't want to relitigate the whole Westbrook and Lakers thing, but that contract, that $47 million option limited what we could do, and it didn't give us really much leverage. Um Now it just feels like we have all the leverage. Now when it comes to, I know, you guys are saying, hey, um, let's just wait till we see what this team looks like. I'm with you guys all the way. One thing I will say though is that LeBron's going into year 21. Even though he has a player option, it's not a foregone conclusion that he's going to have a year 22. I think that's rough to assume on anyone. There's a potential huge changeover that might happen with the Lakers next year. If LeBron decides to retire, or one of the things he always said, if he wants to play with his son, we don't know if that will happen in LA. We don't know. So if LeBron is no longer a Laker, then there's room for another superstar player to come in. We would be in a position with the assets, with the first round draft pick, that we could make a move if it comes to that. So at least we have options. I'm not saying that we need to start looking at trades now, but at least we have the options. That's something we didn't have before, and I definitely appreciate that.
Man,
Uh,
you sound like all them people on Twitter.
well, I look. I'm just mindful of what could happen. Not saying not going either way, but we are a star driven team, and so we'll see how it goes. Something else that happened in Lakerland is, so a couple days ago, the legendary Cap, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, icon. If you say he's the GOAT, hey, I will never argue against that. But he came out and made some comments that he thought Oscar Robinson was the greatest point guard ever. And a lot of folks on social media was getting on him. A lot of the folks that really scrape at the bottom of the barrel in Lakerland was getting on him because he didn't say Magic. Um, to me, Cap has the right to say whatever he wants. He won a championship with both. Obviously, he won 5 with Magic. He won 1 with Oscar. Um, he has a right to say whatever the fuck he wants. He's earned that. No one should question it. Playoff. How you feeling about what Caps? Do you agree with the comments? How you feeling about it? What's your thoughts on
I mean, Oscar Robertson. I mean, he's a top 50 player. He was in that list, correct, when they originally put it out. He's in
it?
that top 50.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, like you said, I think um, Kareem, his opinion is above reproach. Like, either way. Now, obviously, he played for a longer period of time um, with Magic, but you can't fault him for going either way in that discussion, in my opinion. I mean, a lot of people consider Magic, obviously to be the greatest point guard of all time, but Oscar Robinson was, you know, he was talented in his own right. Um, and his name doesn't get as much notoriety as Magic does, but still, super talented player. Can't take anything away from him. So, I mean, Kareem's opinion is his opinion, and so like it is what it is. Like I don't feel like there's any. I don't feel like it's a situation where like we saw Scotty weigh in on the GOAT debate between LeBron and MJ, and I feel like obviously he has an agenda kind of based on the issues that he has with MJ that I guess they still need to figure out, but it doesn't feel like his opinion is agenda driven at all. That's just how he feels. So respect his opinion. And if you disagree, just disagree respectfully, like So
King, where you at with Cap's comments?
So first, let me preface this question with asking a question. How old is Kareem?
I think he's 70. I want to say 75, 76,
let me
somewhere
see.
up there.
So Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is a legendary basketball player.
Yeah, he
No,
is 76. Sorry.
no, also known in basketball as a legendary person, a legendary thinker. Great guy. He's way off.
Hey,
Magic Johnson is the greatest point guard of all time. If you want to find a number two, you're looking at guys like Stephen Curry, Isaiah Thomas. If you want to call Jerry West a point guard, you got all of these guys that you can pull up, and you went with Oscar Robertson. So
So
AK.
he is the first person to average a triple double in the season, which was
Mhm.
something that was everyone thought was an untouchables a feat until Westbrook, you know, start popping them out like Skittles
Right.
about 6, 7 years ago. So
So how many people do you know that is going to put Russell Westbrook as a top 3 point guard of all time?
I don't know
Well,
anyone.
So the thing that we're qualifying Oscar Robertson for doing was done almost triple the time, because I think he has almost 200 triple doubles. Russell Westbrook does in his career.
Mhm.
Averaged it almost. I think he averaged it for at least 2 seasons. So the thing that he did, so the thing that we're kind of glossing Oscar for, uh, big triple double guy. Another guy did it for multiple seasons and has almost doubled his output of them. And we're gonna put him number one. I just don't. Nah, I'm not.
but
Magic
I don't.
Johnson is the best point guard of all time, and it's not even close.
I don't know. I don't think he's strictly basing his opinion off of the triple doubles. I mean, I think that's just a part of Oscar Robertson's game, and I understand why you're bringing Russell into the conversation, but it was such a different time back then when Oscar Robertson was actually doing it, and to bring, it's like it's a different game. Obviously, it's a different time, but I feel like it's so much easier to get a triple double now than it was back then.
Yeah, so there's too many ways for you to quantify the greatness of these players, especially if you're just going to look at Magic Johnson versus Oscar Robertson. It's not even close. Like I think Magic did probably everything better than him, and he's a 5-time champion. I don't think there's no way you can put them in the same boat.
I mean,
So
I get it.
yeah, go ahead, Ralph.
No, no, I'm just saying I get where he's coming from, but I mean, I'm gonna respect Kareem's opinion because I mean he knows he's forgotten more about basketball than I'll ever know. But
100%. That's why I said legendary player, legendary guy, legendary thinker, but he's way off on this.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, King. You think Kareem was factoring in that those Lakers teams were more stacked than that Bucks team that won the championship in what 71? You think he's factoring in that okay, the Lakers had a better team, had more quality players. Do you also maybe suspect that it might be a little personal because we always hear about that friction between Cap and Magic?
And that's another thing. Why does he have friction with so many players? What is? I think I don't understand it, and it could be a combination of both things. Like it could be because of the friction as well as and that's something that I'm not going to do. I'm going to evaluate the type of player you are by your play. I'm not going to do it. You can factor in team and all that stuff, but with less, I think Magic could have done more, just because of his ability. I think he had a better ability of decision making and vision and passing. I think Oscar Robertson just um, maybe was chasing to do the triple double things a little bit more than Magic was. Look at the centers and the other players that Magic had. Didn't have to. He didn't have to do all that other stuff. He had Kareem. He had other guys. AC. He had people that were chasing, that were getting the rebounds, and they were the Showtime Lakers were a get the ball and move it up. Showtime. They're moving fast pace. So Magic usually is defending the point, the other guard, or he's defending their forward up at the wing. Rebounds given to Magic. Magic takes it up. It's a different thing when you look at the squads as well. So yeah, I mean, he could have been.
KB, KB, where you at?
He's entitled to his own opinion. I don't when Kareem says what he says, it's opinion based, very opinion based, and I just leave it at that. Like I can't. I'm
Right.
not gonna go ahead and question why is he doing that. We all have our own opinions of what we think or who's the best point guard of all time. I mean, if you're going by statistics, you already have an answer for that one. If you're going by opinion, you're going by something else. For me, I'm a Laker. I'm a Laker fan. I'm not a stan. Um, so I will say this: I think it's Magic Johnson based on what he has done and what he has accomplished, but also it's just I mean just what he did with the game of basketball is just amazing. Like his passes, leadership, style, showtime. He is like that's showtime. So that's why I choose Magic Johnson in my own opinion. But when Cap says he believes this and that, he's very he's very opinion based, I think. And well, Zen, based on what you told me and a lot of stuff that I learned from you from about Kareem, a lot of things he says, he's very like he's hard headed. Like he doesn't, you know what I mean? He believes in what he believes in, and that's it. Like there's nothing else. That's it.
No.
So I mean, that's why when it comes to when Kareem says stuff like that, I'm like, I ain't studying Kareem. I'm not. I don't stud him because if you talk about the greatest of all time, he'll probably call himself the greatest of all time. You know what I mean?
Which, hey,
So I
which
don't. Yeah.
he is one of three people that if he
Yep.
says I'm the greatest of all time, I will never
Hmm.
argue it. So I
Yeah.
think he look,
Look. Yeah.
I think he's earned it. It feels a little personal. I
That's what I'm trying
think
to
that
say.
it feels a little personal, and perhaps maybe maybe if he says, "Hey, I think Oscar's the best point guard, but I think Magic was the better player." He did come out now for context because context is key. He did come out with the later statement where he was like, "Hey, Magic was my best teammate. We won 5 championships together. I love Magic." So he did come out with that statement. It would be wrong for us not to mention that. But the initial comment, it definitely obviously that's what that's what was more amplified. And you know what? Um he's entitled to his opinion. It just feels that perhaps there's more to it, there's more to it. But yeah. Um, hey, those are legends. Can't go wrong either way, I will say. But speaking of going wrong, because I don't know what the fuck is going on with the team in the Bay Area. Um, Golden State Warriors. We're recording this on Sunday as we always do. I think in the last day or two, I think on the far Friday, there was reports that former Laker, NBA champion, part of our 2020 championship squad, someone who I feel should be in the top 75, but that's another discussion for another time and day. Mr. Dwight Howard. He's going to be meeting with the Warriors next week. And
Hmm.
the Warriors is one of those teams that if you just look at the last what, 8 years, they they've gotten it right. They've gotten it right. I know that's the rival, but they still have their nucleus: Steph, Clay, Draymond. They traded Jordan Poole to the
Washington.
Wizards,
Uh,
and they traded him for Chris Paul. I don't see the logic in it. Now the Warriors are saying that, oh yeah, Chris Paul is going to be a starter.
Hmm.
Okay, now they're bringing in Dwight Howard. It sounds like a lot of the narrative and a lot of what's being said on Twitter. It looks like they're doing what we did in the 2021-2022 season. Um, Playoff. What the fuck are the Warriors doing? I don't see the logic.
yeah, it's kind of hard to see, what the justification for the actions that they've taken in the offseason. Um, if you put Chris Paul in the lineup, like what does that defense look like? Kind of based on what I'm thinking in my head, it looks like food. It looks like food for especially the Lakers. Um, but I don't know, man. I don't get it. I think obviously they had the change in GM. One GM stepped down. Now they have Mike Dunleavy Jr. I can't
Yeah,
remember
Bob
the
Myers.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob Myers. Yeah. So I think we're kind of seeing his philosophy so far. I think Warrior fans they can um, try to justify it and make it make sense, but I think the majority of people on the outside looking in just can't really see how this team is going to mesh and how the Warriors are actually going to contend for a title this year. It's just hard to see it on paper right now. And you know, I know a lot of Warrior fans are hoping and praying that some sort of big move is around the corner, some sort of trade. I think that was what initially people were thinking when they traded for Chris Paul because of the inflated salary that he's making. And I don't know, maybe they can pull off a move. Who knows? But if things stay as they are, I don't really see them being a contender for a championship unless Steph is just nuclear the entire season. But um, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking so far.
King.
Oh, so if you're looking at it as a whole, yeah, I don't. I'm. They lost DiVincenzo.
Mm.
Um, they bring in Chris Paul. They lose Jordan Poole. So you losing Poole and DiVincenzo, losing both of those guards. That I mean, DiVincenzo I think was solid. Jordan Poole had his moments. He's kind of like a sour patch where sometimes good, sometimes bad. Um, and then you bring in Chris Paul, who has been hitting a rough patch as far as injuries go, getting a little bit long in the tooth. So defensively, like playoff said, it's not going to be as good as he used to be. And then you trying to bring in Dwight Howard, which I don't think it's a bad move, depending on how you play him. I think Dwight Howard can kind of seamlessly fit into any type of role because he can be your enforcer, your tough guy. If you need him to go get you a 15-point game, he can go do that as well. He sets solid screens, box out, good rebounder, block shots. So I don't think it's a bad move him going there. I think he just wants to get back in the NBA, and I think I don't. If the Atlanta Hawks wanted him, I think he would go. He wants to get back in the NBA so bad that he's even kind of jumping out the window with the USA comment that he made, where he's like, "If you don't, if you don't pick me for your team, I'm going to go to Taiwan and drop 45 on you." So, yeah, he wants to get back in the NBA. That's really it, and I think the Warriors fit would not be terrible.
Look, I'm gonna get to KB in a second. I feel better about the Dwight Howard potential move than I do with Chris Paul.
Yeah,
Um
Yeah,
like
100%.
like Chris Paul and Steph, that backcourt will be the worst defensive backcourt in the league. Like that is like cooked food all day. Then you add a Clay Thompson who is definitely not the defender he used to be. Um, you can argue probably not even the shooter he used to be. He's still very good.
Don't tell KB.
Um, Draymond, Draymond, as well. That okay, yeah, he's still productive, but I just don't see it now. Dwight, I think Dwight could be is a solid backup. I don't think he's a starter anymore, but can he give like some valuable minutes? I just don't see what the Warriors are. They gotten older while we've gotten younger, and They still got that other team in Northern California, about 90 minutes away in Sacramento.
Yeah,
Um, still got the Clippers. I think the Warriors are going to end. I think Warriors are going to have the worst regular season record in California next season.
100%.
Um, I, I it's going to have to be one of those things that, like, I'll put it like this: if Steph goes down, not saying we want that to happen, but if for whatever reason Steph goes down for a significant amount of time, the Warriors, as constructed, is a lottery team.
true.
Yeah,
No, absolutely.
and KB, will you see any vision in what the Warriors are doing? You get like help me out, man.
I mean, what I see is them getting a guy who's way past his prime, who wants to run the show when they already have a guy who was running the show, a la Steph Curry. But I mean, that just puts into my, you know, prediction of who Curry really is, and it's a shooting guard. So, I mean, if you want to go ahead and put Curry in a shooting guard position and let Chris Paul pass all the, give him all the pass for threes. That's fine. It's just the thing that I love about the Dubs team is you guys keep getting small, keep getting smaller, keep doing it, keep trading away players that can't play big and just play a Mighty Mouse team on three. You know what I mean? So that's I don't really care for the Dubs. I never have. I respect Stephen Curry's game, Draymond's game, Clay's game, what they've done as a dynasty. But I mean, that dynasty's come to a close. Now, when people are saying all over on podcasts and spaces that Dwight Howard is going to be able to teach Kevon Looney something, what the hell are you going to be able to teach him? How to rebound that he's already doing? Like, how to play defense that he's already doing? Like, I don't understand why people keep thinking somebody who is past their prime in Dwight Howard when they probably should have got him probably the year after he won the championship with the Lakers. Maybe that would have been the time to get him, but I don't know what they're talking about getting him now. He was playing in Taiwan, averaging 60, which I'm pretty sure you put Michael Jordan in Taiwan, he'll average 60. Like, come on, man. Like, we gotta. When it comes to the Dubs, it just kind of feels like they're grasping for straws at like right now. Like they haven't done anything besides get knocked out the second round. We played them. No disrespect, it's just a fact. And even when they played us, it showed that they need more bigs and probably youthful bigs, not old ones. So them getting Dwight Howard is just helping the Lakers out. So please do keep getting older. We'll keep getting younger, and we can just see each other in playoffs and be another second or first round exit for y'all. I
Yeah,
don't think it's gonna help them in the end. That's where I'm at.
yeah.
Right.
We we shall see. We shall definitely see. I don't get it, but yeah, we'll see. Fuck Golden State. Yeah, look, we are in look, as much as we're looking forward to basketball season, in a few weeks, we are in the middle of football season. What, week 2? It's week 2 right now, and college football has been back for a few weeks as well. And there's another purple and gold team. There's a purple and gold team in the NFL. Those who are watching on YouTube, King is pointing to his poster. He is a Florida State Seminole. So, hey, we're going to take advantage of it. Purple and Gold Mines presents Cover 3. It's going to be a new weekly every Wednesday. It'll be a new weekly football talk strictly for YouTube. And Cover 3, we got the guys here. We got KB, playoff, and King. So, fellas, King, start off with you. Your NFL team is the Vikings, 0-2, I would like to add, and your college team is Florida State. What can we expect from Cover 3 with you playoff and KB?
Yeah. So of course I'm gonna be your middle high safety, just making sure everything stays in front of us. got the two DBs down there. But yeah, so just I mean, kind of want to center it. Of course, we are PGM, so we want to revolve it around the Vikings to a certain aspect. But due to all three of us kind of coming together and doing this, we'll also revolve some shows around the Bengals. We'll also revolve some shows around the Raiders, and then we kind of gonna cover the a blanket area of the league. We'll talk about whatever storylines are happening. We'll kind of do a quick recap of each of the games, divisions, injuries, if anything like that happened. Of course, we had the Aaron Rodgers situation. So yeah, just basically like a blanket over the NFL. We also probably are going to dabble a little bit in college. Of course, you see the Florida State National Championship in 2013 up there. Gonna add another one this year, but yeah, we'll talk about mostly our teams. Of course, we all also have college teams. My team, Florida State, we know that. Playoff likes USC,
Calm down before you.
USC, and then we got KB bandwagon Georgia. But yeah, so
Excuse
yeah,
me.
we're gonna dabble in football and bring it to you.
No, hey, I'm looking forward to this. I think it's gonna be dope. You got three different. You guys all root for different squads, and
Tag me
shit,
in.
KB, I'm tagging you in right now. Look,
Tag. Thank
KB, I
you.
want to ask you a question.
What happened?
What's up?
What happened?
Yesterday,
Yes.
Georgia Bulldogs went against
Yes.
the South Carolina Gamecocks. It was much closer than people anticipated. And hey, we were watching the game. Me, you playoff. King was in there. What's up? What's up? What can we expect from Cover Three? And how are your dogs are doing?
Well, what you can expect for Cover Three is to get facts from three knowledgeable. Oh, well, yeah, three knowledgeable guys when it comes to football, college football. It couldn't just be about the Vikings because we just don't stand for that. So that's not gonna happen. We got other teams besides the Vikings. We have the Bengals and the Raiders. Can't really talk too much about my Raiders because they're not doing so well. So I got to throw a little bit of shit on my team because they suck. When it comes down to Georgia, the two-time back-to-back champs, put some respect on our name. I don't know what that 2013 national championship is because it means nothing. That's what you're going to be getting out of Cover Three. We're going to put reality into what is now. So, let's not do fantasy. Let's stay into reality, okay? So let's just do that. We're still number one in the nation. Much respect to playoff and in South Carolina Gamecocks. They definitely woke us up because we thought we were in dreamland at first, and we had to wake up the second half. We did eventually. But I mean, Zen, playoff, and King, as y'all know, I'm real critical of my team. I don't think this is a national championship team. If we end up winning one, excuse me, that's going to be because we actually evolved into something better. But as of right now, I don't like the way we're playing. I don't care for winning games. Like I said, playoff. What you guys did in the first half, all it takes is a team that can just contribute first and second half, and we'll lose easily. So it's just something that, for my Bulldogs, I'm not pleased. I'm glad we're number one in the nation still, but that game was a wake up call that we're nowhere near close to where we need to be. But Cover Three will be amazing. I'm just glad and honored I'm able to get some knowledge from two other guys that I see as brothers when it comes to the sports stuff. So definitely glad and excited.
Playoff. Where yeah, shit. Cover Three, man. What can we look forward to?
Yeah, man, just excited to be a part of this, and I think my biggest role will be revealing the truth about Kirk Cousins and who he is as a quarterback in the NFL. And King obviously has his own opinions about that, so I'm sure it'll be a lot of back and forth. But yeah, man, I just enjoy sports, both basketball and football. Like you said, football season just started. The season is young. The Bengals Um, they have lofty expectations coming into the season and it hasn't gotten off to a good start so far. But I think they're in a position to turn around if they can, kind of buckle down and the offense can kind of return back to the form that it has been in the past. As far as college football goes, I went to South Carolina, and that game against Georgia was really a microcosm of the South Carolina football experience. We played well in the first half. It was 14-3 at halftime, right? Um, and they showed a clip of Shane Beamer talking about how the Bulldogs, one thing they really excel at is the ability to make adjustments, and I think um, you could really see that in the second half because the offense didn't look anywhere near as crisp as it did in the first half, and you could really see the difference in the athletes on the field on the Georgia side versus the South Carolina side. No excuses, Bulldogs. They came back, played a great game, and Kirby Smart is an excellent coach. But just looking forward to chopping it up about football in general. Hoping my teams can turn it around and make the conversations a bit more fun for me. But just looking forward to talking to these two gentlemen.
You'll
All
you'll
right.
have you'll have fun talking about the only quarterback to throw for 4,000 yards in the last 7 years. Don't worry about it.
Kirk Cousins is a fantasy football quarterback. He's a better
That's
fantasy
it.
football quarterback than he is a real quarterback.
Then NFL.
No, he's
Yeah.
But
not. As a person who as a person who drafted him, I will disagree. Hey, KB, I know you got to go. I got one last question,
So
because that'd be remiss if I don't bring this up. We were all in our playback channel. You guys already know playback.tv/PGM fan cave. We watched Colorado State versus Colorado at Colorado in Boulder. Look, Colorado, they're now 3-0 under Coach Prime. Um, Shador really stepped up. Hey, shout out to Travis Hunter. Hope you yeah, hey, we want you back soon. We want you healthy. That was a fucking cheap shot.
are there any updates on
Their
his injury?
Only thing
season's
Coach
over.
Prime said that he'll be out multiple weeks.
Yeah, their
Uh,
season's over.
I think it
now,
might have been the way he got hit. It looked like it was a rib cage, so it could have been a cracked rib to puncture lung. So
Yeah,
yeah, because if anything, he played. I give it to him. He took that hit like a champ, came back in and played, but obviously he wasn't good enough to go for the rest of the game. So he probably had trouble breathing after that. So yeah,
that was a
multiple weeks.
blatant
That's
cheap
def
shot.
yeah, very cheap.
Hey, hey, but look, Colorado is the team of Black America. All right, look, last night they had
Oh man,
Offset, um, um,
Dwayne the Rock.
Kyle, The Rock was there, Kyle Lowry, Chauncey
Chauncey
Billups was
Billups.
there.
Yeah,
Um, like folks
Keith,
are oh Lil Wayne, Wheezy was there.
Little
Folks,
tune.
Shannon Sharp was there, Stephen A. Smith was there.
Key Glock.
Um, look, Key Glock.
Hmm.
I don't know who you are. Sure,
he performed in their locker room, and he was
Yeah,
saying
Oh
a
my,
lot of words that
I'm
I'm
sh-
pretty
I'm
sure
sure
Dion
his parents
not
love
exactly.
approved.
him. Sure, his parents love him. Um, look, it's to the point that I think within 3 weeks we keep winning, and I'm saying Obama's gonna show up. Jordan's gonna show up. Like the level of black greatness. Look, Denzel will be at that USC game. Like it keeps elevating like week by week. Like, Hove's gonna Hove is gonna show up. Like it's just like I think eventually we might get Morgan Freeman. What's another notable black?
Morgan
Um,
Freeman.
yo, let's
damn,
slow
maybe
down. Let's slow down,
OJ.
You get James Earl
bro.
Jones out there too.
Oh my
Not
god.
Cosby.
No, oh, wow.
Like week by week, it's just
Yeah,
gonna
but
keep creeping up. Week by week, the
Hey,
level of
hold.
black
So
excellence.
So Zen, are you saying that they're gonna have celebrities show up to that Oregon and USC game because those are the real games to show up to?
Okay, so I'm saying Jordan, I think Jordan's gonna show up at least at least Larsa, at least someone from the Jordan family
Oh
will
my
be,
gosh.
someone
You're
from the Jordan
so
family
wrong.
will be at the Oregon game. All right, at
Oh
least
my
Larsa.
god.
But look,
So
that USC
they're
game.
gonna
Look,
they're gonna lose their next two games. So
Oh my god.
what?
they're
Look,
losing the next two
what's
games.
okay? What's the next game? Oregon, right?
Oregon. Yeah.
Oregon and then USC.
Okay,
No,
so
no.
look,
Oregon and then
Yep.
another team.
Southern
And then USC.
Cal. Southern
Oh,
Cal.
Southern.
okay,
My
Yes.
bad.
if
Southern
Southern
if
Cal.
California.
okay, so next week, right? If
Trojan.
let's just say they get past Oregon. Count my
Mhm.
words. For
Okay.
if we're undefeated going into USC, Hove
Okay.
is showing up, Denzel is showing up, Reggie Bush is showing up
For who?
for Colorado. Beyonce will show up. Beyonce will
Oh.
show up
For
Okay.
who?
for for
For Colorado.
for Colorado. Come on, it's the team of Black America. Come on, hey, hey. What were you saying? What were you saying last night when Colorado was down? You race traitor. What were you
They were,
saying?
they were supposed to lose that
We
game,
gotta
but
you.
I'm that game that I'm on the East Coast, so by the time that game ended, it was 3 o'clock in the
You went
morning.
playoff. You guys are struggling.
Yeah, that was rough. That was rough. It was a rough night for me.
Yo,
That's cold.
how you think Colorado's going to finish the season?
A
I
bowl
think
game.
I think they may win 2 more games, and that's it.
The entire season?
No, not the entire season. I think they're gonna make a bowl game. They'll do pretty well to make a bowl game. That's what I think.
So
Yeah.
these two games that they're about to play is going to derail their season.
Look, I have nothing to say on Colorado. I'm glad what Prime's doing. I'm glad that is the Black America team. But like I said, playing against real legit teams that are actually ranked in national in the national. Don't worry, we'll break this down to cover 3 just to get more real. But we got a fan of Colorado, so go Buffalo, go Buffaloes. There you go. Whatever.
Absolutely.
There you go, Zen.
Look,
So
real quick.
Here's the thing. I'm a Florida State Seminole. Deion Sanders is a guy who does not play Florida State anymore. So I will not root for him to be successful in college football as a coach. And
So in other words, people he hate watches.
He also came out today and was asked a question, who's the best college football coach? And he said he gives his praises to Nick Saban, but he's the best college football.
Hey,
What? Oh, never mind. Like I said, I'll cover it
He
later.
called himself the best college football coach.
Okay.
Hey.
It's hard. Hey, it's one thing to call yourself the best college football coach when you're 18th in the nation. Oh, I didn't say that. I didn't mean that.
He's 19. I think they dropped one.
Oh, my bad. They went down. That hurts you. They went down. My bad. They went down.
They're the best
Look,
college.
He's the best.
What?
He's the
Oregon. I'm looking at the schedule. Oregon,
Okay.
USC, Colorado, Arizona State, Stanford, UCLA, Oregon State, Arizona, Washington State, Utah. Look, they only won one game last year. So they're at 3.
They can easily make a bowl game this year.
Yeah, I think they'll make a bowl game.
So
Yeah,
tell me the wins there.
All right, let me check. Let me check the wins. I'm looking at this. I'm gonna say I can't give you the exact wins, but I'll say this. Hear me out. USC and Oregon, I think they split. I don't know which one they're gonna lose, but I think they'll split.
They'll split what?
They'll split those two games.
Those 2 games.
You said the Oregon and USC game?
I think they'll split.
He doesn't think they'll lose both of those.
Zen?
No.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to say that on this recording?
Yeah, I think they'll split.
Okay.
I'm saying it
Okay.
right now. They'll split. Now,
Hey, we're
I
we're
will.
this is gonna be in playback, right? This is gonna be in playback, right?
Yeah, yeah. We're
Okay. Playoff, you
we're
gonna be there, right?
covering. Hey, we here. We
Yes,
love
sir.
black people. We're watching
Okay.
all of the Colorado games in playback. So make sure you
We
join
love
us.
black people.
We
Okay.
love black people. Now,
All right.
let's see. I think they'll beat Arizona State. So
Yeah,
so what? They're 3-0 now. So let's say they split the USC and Colorado. So
they'll
that
be
puts
four
them
and
at
one.
4-1.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona State, I say, is a win. That's 5-1. Stanford, I'm gonna say, is a win. That's
6-1.
6-1. UCLA, UCLA, I'm gonna say that's a win. That's 7-1.
Mm.
Oregon State, Oregon State, I'm gonna say that's a win. That's 8-1. Arizona, say that's a win. That's 9-1. Washington, Washington, hey, Washington State,
Bro.
Washington State, that's 10 and look, I'm going 11-1 because look,
You
that last game in Utah. Now, look, that last game in Utah, they cannot lose that game. That's Black America versus like clear America. So we cannot lose to Utah. That is setting the whole rate. Look,
So
I
you,
you
you
know 9-2. I'm going 9-2. Maybe they might lose to UCLA. I'm saying 9-2.
I think they got
bro.
3 to 5 losses, like potentially in their schedule for the rest of the year. But
Cause then the way you're talking about it, man, you're making it seem like they about to make the college playoffs. And I'm
that,
not trying to be delusional,
yeah,
but I don't think that's happening.
that
No.
would be incredible if they make the college football playoff in his first year there. Not to say that it can't, not to say that it's impossible, but
Yep.
I really didn't. I hadn't looked at their schedule. Their schedule is kind of tough because all their
They play
opponents.
look, they play no SEC teams. Okay?
That's
So
correct. Yeah,
even if they go 10-1, I don't see them being a top 4 team. I don't see them being a top 4 team. They're going to be like on that outer skirt um because of the strength of schedule, but I'm going to I'm saying 9-2 at worst. I'm going
Nine and
9-2.
two.
I might be disappointed.
Okay.
I might be disappointed, but look, even if let's say they lose 5, that puts them at what, 6-5? That puts them eligible for a bowl game. I don't think they're going to lose 5. I say 9-2. I say 9-2.
Hey, playoff.
Uh
When we doing this? When we doing cover 3 again? Because I'm about to go, boys. In the first thing, though, the first and probably main topic is going to be Colorado's breakdown schedule of college football. Because I don't think you understand the magnitude of them struggling against Colorado
Colorado State.
State.
we
Yeah,
Do you
believe.
not understand it? Oh,
We
okay,
believe.
you believe.
he
We
Hey,
said
believe.
we
and
believe.
also Tony, make sure you
Mhm.
edit this. We coming. Yeah, add a siren, pause,
Hey,
pause,
Tony,
pause.
clip that. Clip that.
Yeah, yeah,
Clip that.
58 minutes. Tony, we coming.
Hey,
So,
playoff. When they lose to Oregon and USC, we gonna hashtag that after this with the score next to it.
We coming.
Yep. Yep. Zid, bro, you shooting yourself in the foot. I'm just trying to tell you, man.
hey,
I,
this is
I
hey,
love Colorado, man. I love what they're doing, but we got to get out of this dream fantasy land. Like they actually competing against some good athletes. I don't think they see actual athletes till they play USC's defensive line or Oregon's defensive line. Like, come on, like we got to stop. We
That
stop.
That Oregon game is gonna tell us a lot about who they are as a
Hey,
team.
you think, hey, if Bo Nixon come out with mad numbers, 400 passing yards and 5 TDs, you'll wonder why. You will
Yeah,
look,
wonder
I
why.
mean,
Hey,
look.
so
I'm just gonna what?
the only 2 games they'll win for the rest of the year is going to be Stanford and Arizona.
Oh,
They're
he
gonna,
went. He was going through the schedule for you. There you go. He
yeah,
was going through the schedule.
Ray,
they're
just
gonna lose to Arizona State because they're on the road. Oregon State is the 14th ranked team in the country. UCLA also is on the road and they are 22 ranked. They're going to lose to Washington State again on the road. And then Utah is a way better team than them. So
No, we got to win that game off of principle. That's clear
sorry, they're
America.
not.
Look,
They're not.
that's us going against the Mormons. We can't. We got to win. Look.
So this is a team. A
We have
team.
nothing against Mormons. Nothing
That's a
against
team.
Mormons.
That's the team in Utah that beat the Florida Gators in week 1. So let's stop that.
Hey, look. Here's the thing. You guys got to understand. All right, we don't real Black America. We've been taking some hits lately. Okay, hip hop it ain't the same. There's no more Cosby Show. That we lost basketball to international. All right, so like,
You trying to mix Black America in the sports. Like there's so many like probably most of the best athletes are Black. So we kind of got that a lot, right?
yeah, I know, but I'm saying like NBA standpoint, like the best players aren't from this country. The top 2 or 3 players are not from this country. So like we taking some hits. Like like so
Well,
we
so
this is what we
bro,
holding on to.
Colorado again, and what makes it worse, it was a cheap shot, but them losing Travis Hunter,
That's gonna hurt.
it goes from them being close, maybe they could pull an upset against Oregon, to now they're probably going to get blown out. And then he's probably not going to play the next week either because this is a multiple week thing. And then, like I'm saying, by the time that happens, they're going to be unranked. They probably still will play for him, but it's not going to be the same sting because they don't have that carrot at the end of the season to go get. They're not going to play for a Pac-12 championship. It's going to be pretty much over for them. So maybe next year he gets a couple recruits in. I'm pretty sure Shador is gone.
You already looking forward to next year?
Yeah,
We need to stay in this year.
Yeah, there's no this year is over.
Let's just stay in this year. Like Zen said, they're gonna go 11 and what? Zen 11 and 1.
11-1.
No, 9-2.
that.
I'm going 9-2. This is for Black
9 and
America.
2.
Oh, okay.
We will be back after 3 weeks of this, and let's see.
All right, well, I'll be a guest on cover 3 in 3 weeks. And you guys could welcome me. But look, we got a dope conversation coming up with Miss Peacha Reno. Wonder if she's from Georgia. But anyway, we're gonna have a dope conversation about Hollywood after the break. And yeah, we will catch you after the break, and we'll be right back. And we're back. Look, that football talk. Look, cover 3 is going to be some good shit. But yeah, we're moving on. As we said earlier, the title for this podcast is Hardwood to Hollywood. Talking about the parallels between the NBA, sports in general, and film. So, figure out talk about some of our great favorite sports films ever. There's a whole bunch of them. We can also talk about why, LeBron's reboot of House Party is a travesty to humankind. But we'll get that into a little bit. We got a very special guest, Miss Peacha Reno from What We Watch. She is someone I've been following on Twitter for a while. She has a dope website, and she hosts some amazing spaces about what we're watching. And I'll be honest, folks, we end every podcast talking about what we're watching. I stole that from her. Hey, I have no. You think I'm a fucking original? No. Remix. But Miss Peacha, how are you? Thank you for joining Meeting of the Gold Mines. And you have been traveling all day, so thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
You're very welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm excited. I definitely own what we watch in that way, but I'm excited to know that you guys are talking about because that's what I'm here to do. So very excited to be on the show and bridge my worlds of sports and film. So let's do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because there's some things I need to talk to you about. Um, and we're gonna like later, like I'm gonna get into Game of Thrones later.
Oh,
Towards the end of the conversation, I'm just starting to watch it for the very first time. I'm at the end of season 6. I never 10 years ago, my ex at my person I was with at the time was like,
mm,
"You got to watch the show." I tried to get through the first episode 3 times. I couldn't get through it. Um, so now I'm watching Game of Thrones. We'll talk about this later. I just want to say real quick, Jon Snow overrated. But look, we'll get there. But so Purple and Gold Mines. We're Laker fans. Who are you rooting for in the NBA?
so this is a sticky subject. Um, Only because, we all have our rules and you know how the internet is, flip flopping teams and stuff is not cool. But here's the thing, I support Black players. And there's one player that I didn't support, not on a personal level. Great man as on a personal level. But when Russell Westbrook signed to the Lakers, I was like, no, you're not about to join my team and go 18% from the field. Like, we're just not doing that. So I've been a Lakers fan basically my whole life. Um, but I set boundaries. I protect my emotional space. And so, I made some adjustments after that first season that Russell was there. Again, no offense to him personally, but I just, very parasitic to that team at that time, as you guys saw. Um, so I'm a Heat fan. I've been accepted into the space. I have a very viral tweet. You will see lots of Heat players follow me. I am a Heat fan. I'm part of the family. So
Damn, just right out the gate, just Westbrook just got astray. He's no longer on the team.
I know, but that's when I set that boundary anyway. So I said I would come back after he left, and then it's like as soon as I said that he's out of here. But I'm a Heat fan.
Well, there's a 2 year you like it. That's a 2 year period. You can't just like flip flop. That's like a 2 year
Right.
wait.
And I'm okay with that. I said I'm a Heat fan. So going into this season, I'm an NBA Heat fan, Miami Heat fan. It is what it is. Um, yeah, I'm not interested in flip flopping right now, but I'm always Lakers have my heart. So.
From a hopefully your boy Jimmy Butler doesn't let Shakira down. But
It seems a few people have been letting Shakira down lately, but Shakira,
yes,
Shakira will be okay either way.
yeah.
I love the Heat team. Can we just like talk ball? Like it's a great team. We have a very good team. We have guys that have heart, that play consistently. Great coaching. So I mean, I'm excited for our
See you
season.
guys getting Dame.
Yeah, I'm very
Guys
excited.
get it. You got you. So you feel that you guys are getting Dame.
Probably. If
I
not, I
think
mean it's okay. But Dame Dollars is that guy. So
I think
either
he's
way,
going to Philly. I think he's going to Philly,
we
or
don't.
maybe Houston for a lot of bullshit going on in Houston that we don't condone. But one of those two teams. I don't know.
For personal reasons, I would love for him to go to Houston. That'd be amazing. Just so I could
Uh,
have a really fun time this season.
hey, Houston is a special place. No, no, Houston's not a
The
special
Houston
place.
Rockets, you Houston Rockets, all Houston sports, not for me. If any of
Wow,
my friends are watching or listening to this, they'll have an issue with it.
wow, another stray. All right, okay. Well, um, no, it's gonna be a great NBA season. And one thing about the NBA, and going into this conversation, I think the NBA has like really become like the best soap opera in all of television because of the amazing storylines. We got last season, we had LeBron's, um, you know, going after the all-time scoring title. We then from the Laker point of view, we had the Russell Westbrook saga at the beginning. Uh, then we have to deal with Anthony Davis. Is he healthy? Um, Now even in the off season is so entertaining league wide. From where's Dame gonna go? What's up with James Harden? Chris Paul to the to the Warriors. Excuse me. No, no, no. We do not want him on the Lakers. Chris Paul to the Warriors.
Sometimes.
Um, that like the NBA is Hollywood straight up. Um, but with what's going on in Hollywood, I really wanted to start off with the elephant in the room. Since what May, the WGA has been on a strike, and then middle of July, the actors, screen actors,
Well,
what SAFTA, joined as well. What's going on with Hollywood? What's going on with the strike? Who's in the right? Who's in the wrong?
so first, I want to affirm you. Ava DuVernay made a comment about the NBA, very similar to what you just said. I don't know if you saw, but she, celebrated the NBA as a filmmaking kind of like feat. Like, you get when you're watching these games, right? You feel like it's like you said, a soap opera, a drama. You feel like even in the off season that you're getting these character stories, right? Effectively, if you don't know them, they're characters to you. And what's really cool about the way that the NBA is filmed is that you get in to see their faces. So you see their emotions right after they dunk, during their dunk, after their team just won a buzzer beater, after their team is like game three, like what does it matter, game seven. So the camera focuses in, right, because there's just 10 people on the court. So you really get a really intimate kind of television moment, and you get these characters emotions, these players emotions. So you're very right about that. Now, I don't know if I would call it an elephant in the room, but I mean, maybe it is in this room. But the strike, and I'm not an expert by any means. I think every time people ask me about, my perspective and my understanding, I feel like we all kind of have the same baseline understanding and perspective and hopes and optimisms, but we're all just as concerned, confused, and hopeful as everyone else. I mean, the bottom line is there have been significant changes in the economy as a whole, and Hollywood operates in the economy. And I think people forget that Hollywood is a business, this is an industry, meaning people have jobs. So while things may be glamorous and look glamorous from a writer's, actor's perspective, even a director's perspective, these people are working. This is their livelihood. This is our livelihood. So writers are in a peculiar kind of way because since we're not in front of the camera, a lot of people that aren't close to the art don't understand like our contribution, which is everything, right? There is no show without a writer, and I'm talking about like
Absolutely.
any show. There's nothing without your screenwriters, and you can't name your screenwriter of your favorite film or your director, but they're the ones that are attached to the show, or to the movie. But the actors is who you see. So the idea here is that you know people want a livable wage. It's not any different from your 9 to 5 when you're like, hey, I have 2 or 3 degrees. Should I be getting paid this little bit amount, or should I be, asking for a raise? And so think of the strike as, asking for a tiny raise, but, in a union, of course, right? We know how that works. I won't get into that. So it's difficult having the conversation because it seems very simple, but it's so complex because these studios want to maintain, the bottom line and make sure that their profits are as high as they can be. But what does a studio mean? Their studios are run by these executives, and all of the studios. You're subscribed to at least some of those streaming services, so you know who those people are, and we just can't come to an agreement to pay writers, what they deserve to be paid, whatever they feel they deserve to be paid. So
Absolutely. And one of like in addition to um what we're doing here with Purple and Gold Mines and our platform and everything, I am pursuing screenwriting. It's something that's a passion of mine. Absolutely love it. I always pay attention to the writers that's creating, writing the content that I'm consuming and enjoying. And I was just listening to, okay, so I know I'm going to get a couple people to that's going to laugh at me when I say this, but so I am a huge fan of One Tree Hill. Okay.
well,
Yeah.
twins. Twins.
Twins. Hey, Nelly.
Best freaking show ever. What? Wait.
Yes, always and forever.
Hmm.
Now, I listened to the Drama Queens podcast, and one of the reasons why I listen to it is because they talk about their experiences on set. They talk about you know just the show itself, but also a lot of the stuff that they have gone through in Hollywood. And I think for me, it has made me a better writer because just being mindful of when I'm writing women characters, I'm mindful of certain things. So it's like it's not coming from a place of weakness or desperation or lack of intelligence and all of that. But the reason why I brought up that podcast is a few episodes ago they had Antoine Tanner on, and he's the guy that played Skills, and he was saying that one of the things that they're fighting for is literally like I think like 0.4% of the profits from the streaming platforms,
Mhm.
and that's like that's it's like that's what we're pretty much asking for. And when you look at it from that percentage, it's just like, really, and the Hollywood strike is just crazy right now because what is it, about a year ago, Warner Brothers Discovery wrote off the Batgirl movie, just wrote it off. I said, hey, no, we're just going to use this as a tax write off. And it's like these studios are getting record profits. It's just something's not adding up. How can the studios be getting record profits, but then you're having disputes with the folks that you're supposed to be paying? I just hope it's something that gets worked out soon. I think it's the strike is something that's necessary, especially from the lack of transparency that's with the data, the metadata for these streaming services. Um, so I think it's a more of it's a generational thing. As the technology change, you're gonna the studio's been getting away with murder for the longest time,
Yeah.
and so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it ends soon because there's so many shows that should be premiering in the next like now or within the next few weeks, and they're not. So, but a living wage is a living wage, and
Yeah.
it's the right thing to do. Um,
Yeah, and
you know, one of
I
yeah.
think humanizing television is important too, which is a big thing that I try to emphasize in what we watch. Bridging the art with the industry is very difficult. Being a creative, people, don't understand. Like you're still a human being, and so it's not just the shows, right? It's the artists behind the shows. These shows don't just miraculously appear, right? AI
Mhm.
or not, these shows don't miraculously appear. So it's the humans behind these shows that need a livable wage that you continue to watch them. So yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we have to protect art. We have to protect art. We have to protect the artists.
Yes.
Um, I think when I was thinking about this conversation, right, looking at the bridge between the NBA and film, one of the things that you alluded to is just like with basketball, you see the facial expressions. You see, just the drama right in front of you. And unlike football and baseball where they're wearing helmets, you actually get this. The basketball players are more visible than like any other team sport. And you can go back and you can go back and look at Kareem in Kareem was the Bruce Lee movie Game of Death. Um yeah, I believe it's Game of Death. I always say that Shaq had to walk in steel so Robert Downing Jr. could fly in Iron Man. Just saying. I'm just saying.
I like
But yeah, go ahead.
I like that.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But there's a winning time. We as we're recording this, it's just been announced that winning time um will not be renewed for a third season, which is a shame. It is such a great show, and it's not if you don't even need to be a Lakers fan. Like um if you're a fan of history, if you're a fan of sports in general, if you're just a fan of entertainment, really seeing how the strings are pulled behind the scenes, how the food is made in the kitchen. It's a great show. It is a shame that it's getting not getting renewed. I'm pissed off about it. But let me ask you, Miss Peacherino, what makes a good sports film?
What makes a good sports film? That's, I mean, it's tough. I mean, there's just, I mean, under sports, there's so many subgenres, right? But I think what makes a good sports film is one that doesn't shy away from the romance of whatever athlete, family story we're telling. It's important for us to understand the relationships that these athletes that play the sports build. And so I think that's what makes a good sports film.
King, what's some of your favorite sports films?
So first, like the thing that I think makes a good film is the authenticity. So it has to be authentic, meaning that those are when you want to get those actors who either had background in the sport, like when they were in high school or college, or they're kind of like those method actors where they kind of dive all into the sport that they're going to play. So those are the guys that like get the training from the football player or the coach or the wide receiver coach from the team in their town, just because they want to be able to make the catches or have the expressions or do the toe tap if they're a receiver, running back be able to express the way that they land or they fall. So I think it has a lot to do with authenticity. One of my favorite movies, I can't remember it right now. It's the Any Given Sunday. That's probably one of my favorite movies because you can kind of look at those actors, Jamie Foxx, LL Cool J. They kind of look the part of a football player, and you could tell that those guys actually did either play in college or high school, or they got some kind of training from professional athletes or a coach or a trainer. So I think that's the keys, and that's probably one of. I mean, if you go like to my younger days, it's like probably like Little Giants or Sandlot or one of those movies. Those are like the nostalgia movies, the childhood movies. But the ones that I remember is like Any Given Sunday, Remember the Titans, movies like that.
Well, I think, and Remember the Titans is definitely my number one when it comes to sports films. There's so many subcategories because you have you have the underdog story, then you have the more family friendly, adult oriented, like Any Given Sunday. Oliver Stone was in his bag with Any Given Sunday. Al Pacino, that such a dope movie.
Right.
Miss Petrino, let me ask a quick question.
Yeah.
Does Jerry Maguire count as a sports movie?
It's not a sports movie.
It's
Like,
Yeah, 'cause
not a
that
sports
was more like the sports agent side, wasn't it?
yeah, but that's still sports, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's not a sports movie. I mean, what we watch has a pillar that every movie is a romance, and so people are still warming up to that idea because the word romance triggers everyone. But it is, and so some of my favorites. I can give you some newer ones.
Go
Um,
ahead.
42 and Air, right? But why were those such great fucking movies, right? 42 was also about the relationship that he had with, his partner.
Absolutely.
Air
Yes.
was about the relationship he had with his mother and the relationship his mother had with his agents and the relationship he had with basketball. But then you also get the subgenre of comedies, like is it The Longest Yard? I mean, Adam Sandler in sports, I love it. I mean, it's just a good time. Bad News Bears is hilarious. But yeah, you have your classics.
Original or remake?
Both. I loved both. I watched them both the same day, actually.
Ye-
You're talking about Bad News Bears, right?
Yeah, it's I gotta give it to the remake.
I loved
Billy
it.
Bob,
He's
the,
great.
the kid in the wheelchair made the difference for me. The kid in the
Yeah,
wheelchair.
but and I think King is your name. Sandlot is I mean, Sandlot has my heart forever and
Right.
ever.
I love that movie.
But even like King Richard, right? The Blind Side, very, very, the hoopla around that. But I mean, before we knew all of this, which I think is still independent of the film,
It's
it was a great film.
one of the great fiction movies of all time.
Exactly. But the relationship, right, is what we remember. Like, oh man, like, oh, they really took this guy. So that's where I come from with that. But just like on a base level too, like I Tanya is incredible. Margot Robbie is my birthday twin and my girl forever. So yeah, so those are some of mine. Not your typical, but yeah.
Uh, okay. Let me ask you.
What was the baseball? I can't remember the baseball movie.
Hardball.
Hardball? Hardball?
Is it that one? No, it's an older one.
With
It's old.
Keanu? What's the older one?
Not Keanu. It's with the guy from Two and a Half Men. I can't remember his name.
Oh,
Oh,
Major League.
Major League, yeah.
Major League. That's it.
That's like
Yeah,
a, is that
that
like
was.
the
I think I
that's
like
like
that.
the 80s, right?
Yeah, Major League. Yeah, Major League
Yeah,
was like late '80s, and then they
Yeah,
had a sequel like
86?
early '90s.
80, 88? Yeah,
Yeah,
89, yeah.
about '88. Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
No,
I remember watching.
Hardball is dope. Hardball is dope
That's
as well
great.
with Keanu Reeves. All right, let's see. What athlete would make a good biopic? Like, what if you had to pick an athlete, and who would you and you want to see their life story? Who are you picking?
Rajon Rondo.
What?
Oh, I need to
Please,
hear
I
that
need to hear
story.
this.
Rajon Rondo, my guy. My dog's named after him, first of all. Rondo, y'all sleep on Rondo. Rondo is one of the most intellectually high IQ basketball players we've seen. He's the East to West Coast bi-coastal championship. Helped both teams get it. Lakers, one of them, as you know. You're welcome. And the Celtics. And I mean, he is just such a polarizing. He has such an interesting, like, world and life outside of basketball that he's simultaneously private about, but also you get like some headlines every now and then. I think it'd be a great film. And obviously I'm biased because he's one of my favorites, but he is one of my favorite point guards all time.
King, who you want to see a biopic for?
Oh man, there's so many athletes out there. The easy pick, of course, is LeBron.
It's
I
easy,
think
yeah.
they've had like hundreds on Kobe. I'm just so biased to my own teams though. But yeah, I don't. I mean, it
I
to
need a,
me.
I need a, I need a sleeper pick. Give me like a don't give me a
That's what
LeBron.
I'm trying to think because there is so many. Like I'm usually like I'm the fan where I know like the roster of like the 45th man on the football team, and like I pay attention to their stories as well. So, but it's been so many players that I've seen. Um, but if you're looking at like the stars, I have to lean with like a LeBron. Like I just want to because there's so many stories. But I want to see it from like him and his family and his friends' perspective, not from the people from the outside. I want to hear them talk about his upbringing because there's been so many stories about how he grew up without a father and his uncles and stuff was like father figures and they kind of kept him away from where he could have went. And his mother, of course, had the drug problem and stuff like that. So I want to see like that perspective, not where the writers and everybody is getting the information and they're narrating it. No, I want to hear guys like Maverick Carter and Randy Mims talk about that, and then they get his mom and she talks about it. Like that's what I want to hear, and like his
Yeah.
uncles.
And that's what I was saying about what makes really good sports films earlier is those relationships. Like that's what you want to see. So
Right.
Absolutely. For
I would,
me,
I would have to think about it. I'm gonna give you one in a second. Let me think about
look, I'll say this. For me, it will be Allen Iverson.
yes.
Um,
Mhm.
I because Allen, AI was the first person who really like embraced like hip hop and brought it to the NBA. And I'm not just talking about, just from a music tip, but from fashion, just the imagery. Um, I think the fact that, of his size, he was always the underdog. He was unapologetic. He went through the thing when he was in high school that he ended up in jail, the incident at the bowling alley. For him to play under the late great John Thompson at Georgetown, um, crossover on Jordan, all of the marketing. You know, even in his personal life, it wasn't always pretty, and but it was always real and authentic. So for me, it would be Allen Iverson because I would want to see just how that bridge between just like hip hop and NBA, like that marriage started, which is still going on strong, you know, 26 years later. So if for me, it'd definitely be Allen Iverson. With LeBron, yeah, you could he's he has what's the show on Showtime? There's already been some stuff that's loosely based on LeBron.
He's an easy
He
choice.
also,
He's an easy.
he's an easy
No matter
choice.
what, you're gonna get the docs, the biopics, the TV shows with LeBron over the next 10 to 20 years. It's done deal, sold. Like it's happening. But
Yeah,
I love Allen Iverson. Extremely like the cultural impact that AI has is huge. Fashion, music, sports, all of it. Just I mean, phenomenal. I mean, I have the questions and the answers my damn self. So, I mean, yes, I love that answer.
yeah.
Yeah, he probably had especially, well, at least in my generation, he had the biggest impact as far as like crossover. He brought basically hip hop and the whole culture into the NBA. Like that was all him, and then everybody just kind of followed behind him.
You want
And okay, so here's a name, and I don't know because I'm a Vikings fan. Um, Randy Moss.
Self-success.
Randy Moss is he'll be a guy that does he when you look at him, he looks like he's a country kid. Like if you hear him talk, if you see how he lives, because I've seen like a couple of they always do like the little backstories when they're playing and it goes back to their hometown and stuff. He's a country kid, farm boy. Like that's how he is. A lot of these great athletes, and he was probably one of the most like the way you look at Giannis and call him the Greek freak. They used to call him super freak when he played because the guy was 6'5" and ran a 4.3. Like I've seen him play and catch like a 2 yard pass where he just steps forward, catch the ball, and just ran straight down the sideline past everybody at 6'5". So he can jump over you, he can run by you, run over you, everything. So he'll be a guy that I want to see like a full fight pick about.
Are
So
we not just doing NBA? Are we doing any sport now?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's what did you say, athlete, or was it really just
No,
NBA?
yeah, I think you did say like sports or athlete, but I didn't.
well,
I
what Jimmy
NBA.
Butler? We're getting this in the chat right now. Jimmy Butler. You
I,
think he will make a good biopic?
absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, he's great on our like soap opera of NBA. Just when you talk to him, when you interview him, when he's in the game, absolutely.
I would need to see a long ass scene from that infamous practice when when he was with the Timberwolves, got all the backups and just whooped Carl Anthony Towns ass.
yeah.
I
Didn't
would
Jeff
need to see
Great
that.
Jeff Teague
person.
talked about it. Jeff Teague, I think he kind of told the story about it, where he said basically how it went, where he did that. He came in late, nobody knew he was coming. He showed up. The coach kept on telling him to do stuff, and he was like, "No." It was like, "Okay, the ones and the twos are playing." Jimmy was like, "No, give me all of the twos on my team, and I want to play against them." They whooped their ass, and he just left.
I
He didn't
think
even
I
say
think
anything. He
I
just walked
believe
out.
he had his watch.
That could
I
be a whole
believe
movie. I'll watch it.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Whole movie.
Mhm.
What are okay, so let me ask you this. There's this whole thing, this never ending conversation about the GOAT debate between LeBron and MJ. So I want to ask you, who had the better Space Jam?
I love
That was a turn.
Well, here's the thing. Let me answer this. I have no problem to answer. It's Michael Jordan, but there's a lot of nostalgia. There's a lot of you get. It's easy. The second installment of a film is always very difficult. Even the third and fourth. Shout out to Christopher Nolan for the Batman trilogy, though. Perfect.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing Space Jam as this new concept when I'm not going to age myself. But at a very young age. I watch it again, 2-3 years later. It's amazing. I watch it again with my family later. I watch it with my boyfriends. Anybody, you can watch that movie with anybody, and so that's always going to have a special place. Now, Space Jam LeBron is in this. It came out in this era where we have I watch 30 movies a week. Not that's a lot, but I watch a ton of movies a week, and so it kind of came and went. Didn't have that same cultural impact, that same kind of standing that the original Space Jam did. So Michael Jordan had the better one, but LeBron's was really fun too.
Look, the best part of Space Jam 2 was Porky Pig's freestyle. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
I didn't even watch the whole movie. I didn't watch the whole Space Jam 2.
Really?
That shit was shit.
I saw it in theaters.
I love
That's not
Space
something you should say on a podcast.
I love the first Space Jam. That can be the only Space Jam to me. Just I don't know. I haven't seen I think LeBron James has a remake of House Party. I'm not watching that. There's no way.
No,
I'm not gonna
no. That shit was shit.
Who's gonna do Space Jam 3 though?
Is that coming? Is that supposed to? Is that a thing?
Who would be? No, it's not yet. But that's a great question. Anthony Edwards. No.
Anthony Edwards seems like he is probably one of the best basketball player athletes. What he did in that what was it? The Bo Cruz movie? Can't remember what it's called. With the movie with Kevin Garnett. Is that the one with Kevin Garnett and Adam Sandler?
You're talking about Uncut Gems?
Is that it? With
I don't know.
No, that's not it.
No, that's not.
Anthony Edwards came out in a recent movie.
I don't know what you're talking
about. What is the movie? Look. It's with Bo Cruz, the basketball player, Hernan Gomez. Where I think Adam Sandler was in the movie where he was an agent. He was a sports agent.
Murder mystery?
Let me find it.
No. Death on the Nile. I'm
thinking about when I say the name of it, you guys are gonna be like, wait. Hustle is the name of it.
I don't think I watched Hustle, but I know I think I heard about it. But
with Anthony Edwards and his name is Hernan Gomez. Yeah, so Anthony Edwards, I mean, he played a small part in it, but he was just the antagonist. The guy, he found out a bunch of information about him, and he was talking about his kids and stuff.
But Anthony Edwards is not following Michael Jordan and LeBron in a Space Jam 3.
Who would be?
Yeah, but no. So it's just that I think that if you're
I'm going to say Giannis. I want to say Giannis.
Okay, I like that answer.
I'm going to say Giannis.
I don't. So,
but I'm not sold.
Luka, you do a European Space Jam.
Hey, I will say this though. Ja Morant would be perfect for the next reboot of John Wick.
Okay.
Not John Wick 5.
John Wick. Hey, Ja Wick. Let's go.
Ja Wick. That is hilarious.
Let's go. Let's see. Okay, here we go. What NBA player would make the best? This is a two-part question. What NBA player would make the best Batman?
That's tough. You can go first, King. It depends. Okay, who's directing the Batman movie?
Let's go with the GOAT, Christopher Nolan.
Okay, so he gets to do another trilogy. He likes the gritty fighter. I'm going Hmm.
Yeah, I have my answer already.
Does it have to be a current player? Okay, go ahead, King. You go first.
Joel Embiid.
Past
I
or
like that.
present?
Joel Embiid.
Okay,
Joel
now
Embiid.
are you counting him as Bruce Wayne as well?
Yes.
I'm
Joel
gonna.
Embiid is so funny to me. Like when he talk, he's so serious but unserious at the same time. And I think that's kind of what that will bring a different twist to Batman. Because Batman to me is kind of uptight. And you throw him in there, like I think he would switch it
But
up.
Christopher Nolan is not going to give you that Batman.
Oh, so he's gonna want to stick to the script.
He's definitely I mean, he's going to put his own twist, but he's not going to give you the not uptight Batman.
So
Okay,
let me see.
Who's your answer?
go ahead, King. I'll just
No,
wait.
I said Embiid,
Oh,
but
you said
I'm
Embiid. You said
You gave an
Embiid.
answer. What's your answer?
My answer. I'm going Jaylen Brown.
oh,
I'm
okay.
going Jaylen Brown. I'm good. I'm going because he has like a low key demeanor. He's pretty
Hmm.
serious. I'm gonna
100%.
say Jaylen Brown, and plus he's already worn the mask when he, what was it when he fucked up the eye socket?
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Um. Okay, wait, hold on, Miss Petrina. In general, in your opinion, who's the best Batman? Who's the best Bruce Wayne? Because those are two different things.
God, you got my brain going a lot. Let me think. So I can tell you it's not Robert Pattinson, and that's a whole thing. There, somebody else caught a strike. There you go, Robert Pattinson.
No.
He's not. Yeah,
I
he's.
agree.
Tell you who it's not. Um, the best Batman. Because it's not the same Bruce Wayne. I feel like I know the best Batman is also the worst Bruce Wayne, which is Christian Bale.
I agree. I'm with you. That's my Batman.
Not my Christian, not my Bruce Wayne. I don't know who my favorite Bruce Wayne is. I think I'd have to go back before Christopher Nolan, which is wild because I rarely go back that far. But I think the best Bruce Wayne is who was it that was in the first installment? His name escapes me now.
Well, Michael Keaton.
Yes, Michael Keaton. Thank you.
See, I'm going. Here comes the blasphemy. I'm with you. Christian Bale, best Batman. I'm going with Ben Affleck for best Bruce Wayne.
I mean, after seeing him in Air, I have changed my relationship and my opinion of Ben Affleck quite a bit. So I'm not mad at that. But if you'd asked me before I saw Air, I'd be like, "What are we doing?"
So
And he
I
go ahead,
actually
King.
I had to Google the Batmans because I'm not really a Batman guy. But Will Arnett,
What?
You
yeah,
like
he's the so look. The reason why is he's really the only Batman that I recognize. That's it. I don't watch all the Batman movies, so the biggest Batman movie you can think of is the one that I watched, and I think he was in it. So that's the only one I recognize.
What NBA player would make a great Superman?
Clark Kent or Superman?
Both. Austin Reeves for Clark Kent.
I'm sorry, guys. I need Dwayne Wade to be in like a film. I know he's out of the league, but I need Dwayne Wade to do like I need to see him.
Okay, so what superhero is Dwayne Wade?
Dwayne Wade's giving.
Flash.
I would love to see him in Flash. Redo Flash. Give him Flash.
Yeah, I mean that was his NBA moniker. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
But he could even. I feel like he could do it. I feel like he could do something even cooler. But yeah, I'm good with the Flash. I need to see Dwayne Wade in something. Superman. I'm going.
Dwayne Wade is Black Panther.
I would live for that. Are you kidding? That'd be hilarious.
Doesn't he kind of look like Chadwick though? So,
Kind of.
Be honest, you see what I'm saying? We need Dwayne Wade in front of the camera. He's great too. He's always been exciting, and like post game stuff and inside whatever. Yeah, he's been great. Superman. Who's I don't know. Give me Austin Reeves as Superman in like 8 years.
I like Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is Superman.
I
Hell,
can't.
hell
I
no.
can't, seriously, no, I can't do. No, I'm not doing that. You need a buff guy that's like not over 6'3", which is a lot of
Oh, he has to be shorter. I mean,
like, well, not shorter, but like we're talking about Superman here, who's like very nimble, very agile, very like flying across. You get into the 6'7", 6'9", 10, 7'2", it's ridiculous. But you need him like to be really buff too. So you need him like thick, like Kyle Lowry, but like,
I got
well,
one
Stephen
last.
Curry. Stephen Curry put on a little bit of muscle. Stephen Curry.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He would be a great Spider-Man.
Who's a more buff? I like that. Who's a more buff Steph Curry? I'm thinking, give me a European. What's his name? Djokovic.
Joker?
He's
Jokic?
tall. Not Jokic, the other one. Nikola.
Nikola Vucevic.
Vucevic. There you go.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I got one last sports question before we round this. One last sports question. Then we get, of course, to what we're watching. If you could direct or you could create a movie, if you can make a movie based upon any sports story, any athlete, any sports event, anything in the sports world in history, what would be that movie?
I'm going to allow recency bias to prevail here and say Coco Gauff.
Shout out to Coco. Shout out to Coco.
I'd absolutely. As a matter of fact, I think I just spoke that into existence on this podcast. We'll come back to this in 2023.
Let's go.
Her show and her movies, y'all will know.
Let's go. I would love to see if it's a biopic or if it's a series. I would love to see a story told about the 2006 NBA Finals when the Cavs were down 3-1. So pretty much taking place. So it'd be game 5, 6, and 7. What was going on for those few days? I would love to see that story from going down 3-1. No history, no team in history has done it, and to the game 7 itself. I would be interested in that story, that window of time. ESPN, one of their original 30 for 30s was they told a similar story with the Red Sox and the Yankees when the Red Sox were down 0-3 to the Yankees, and then them winning the next 4 games to win the American League Championship. And I think you could tell a story about that.
That means you liked Malice at the Palace and Winning Time, correct? Did you like both of those installments?
Yes, I absolutely, yes.
Yeah, and that means you'd also probably like maybe if they did that's a little different. Like, what if they made one game an entire movie? That'd be better as a docuseries. But sounds like you want like the comeback story for the 28
comeback story.
The 28-3 game alone. Those Falcons.
Oh, damn. So you're saying from halftime. Oh man.
But like you get like some of the people that have money on the game. You get some of the people that, are getting drafted like, the next season. Like you get all of it around it, so it like becomes a whole movie.
Some of the people that left the game.
Right.
Speaking of that, my game would be game 6, where the Heat were down and Ray Allen hit that shot. If you watch the feed, half of the people were out
Wow.
the arena. They walked out like the game's over. And then I guess they were seeing it on the side, or their phone was alerting them that, oh, the game's went to overtime. They were trying to get back in the arena and they could
Love
not
that.
get in.
I
So
watched that.
yeah, that's what
Let's
I
get
was.
more films that hone in on like moments.
That
Absolutely.
Full
or
Absolutely.
I think you mentioned it, Malice in the Palace. Just
Yeah.
that it'll be one of those two.
That would that would
It
be
was great.
interesting. That
Mouse
that
was
would
great.
be interesting. Oh, Malice, oh, that
The
hilarious.
yeah.
No, this has been a fun conversation, and we I'll have to send it to you. I'll have to share the tweet with you, but we are producing a documentary, a fan made documentary called Jobs Not Finished. It's about Kobe Bryant. It's pretty much about Kobe Bryant from the view of his opponents, just about his competitiveness. So yeah, so that's been kind of putting us in the sports film realm. So I figured that this would be a great conversation to have with you. But
Absolutely.
like we stated earlier, we end every podcast talking about what we're watching. So, and I have some thoughts. I have some stuff to say about Game of Thrones. But Miss Petrino, what are we watching? What are you watching now?
Ah, the head of what we watched, the original, the OG.
The OG.
The OG. Thank you for having me. By the way, I actually working with a lot of athletes turned actors now, turned producers. So I've been blessed in my world of screenwriting and producing to be able to do this. So what we watch sports is a segment that I'll be happy to have you guys on, and bridging that world between sports and film has really been fun. So thank you for that. What I'm currently watching though is not anything about sports outside of actual college football. Shout out to the Longhorns. All right, we 3-0. People were walking out of those stadiums because we did win, though, so they didn't have to come back in and see nothing. We shut it down. But I'm watching a lot of Apple TV shows. I'm watching a lot of book to on screen, that kind of
Okay.
realm, that world.
Yeah.
Like that. What do you get? What do you get? Adapted screenplays, but things like that, especially TV shows. So I recently watched The Outsider, a lot of Stephen King novels to on screen. Um, I just finished From. I guess I'm in this apocalyptic supernatural world. I'm finishing Finish Time or Winning Time. Finish Time. I'm finishing Winning Time. I
It
will.
is finished.
Yeah. I'm 2 or 3 episodes behind, so I got to finish that. And then I'm catching up on all my animated films. I've been lucky enough lately to produce a few animated films and work on those while the strike is happening, without being a freaking scab, right? But talking to
Of
people about
course.
what they can do for their shows and things like that. So yeah.
That's dope. King, what are we watching?
So you guys already know I'm not a big TV or movie guy, but what I've been tuning in, I've been watching like because I'm a fanatic about like Egypt. I want to go there one day. So I've been watching like little things on the History Channel. I try to catch it as much as I can about all the old pharaohs like Ramses and King Tut and all of them. So that's kind of what whenever I get some free time, I try to watch those. I try to record them on my DVR just so I can catch up on them. Where they kind of explain that the way that they lived back in those times is pretty similar to how we live now, just without like the technology and all that stuff. It's pretty much the same thing. The way that they wrote, they had different accounts. They had, speaking of a strike, one of the episodes that I saw, it was the one with King Ramses III, which I believe he was the one that ruled for the longest. I think it was like 60 years he was the pharaoh. But there was a couple of moments where he wasn't paying the workers, the people that work for him. He's a king, but like you still have to kind of pay them. And they went on strike and they said that they're not working. And you would think like back then, he's the king, it's a dictatorship. Like just throw all of them into the lions, just kill all of them. But that's not what happened. Like they kind of stayed out of work for a couple of days. They negotiated and bartered, and he ended up paying them. So it's when you watch that kind of stuff, it kind of shows you that even though it was a different time, most of the concepts are still the same. Like they
Yeah,
live and we live.
we're humans. Our brains,
Yeah.
have not really changed that much outside of just our exposure to technology. And I love that you brought that up because, to the point of the strikes, they're supposed to be disruptive, and they've worked in the past, and that's why history kind of repeats itself, and it becomes very cyclical. The economy changes, things are more expensive. And you guys still want to watch TV shows. TV is not going anywhere ever. I mean, I remember even during the pandemic, they were like, the theaters are not going to exist anymore. And I was just like, very firmly, that's not true. We will always rely on art. So pay the artists.
Absolutely pay the
Right. The,
artist.
the pyramid. There's one. The pyramid is that's still something I. Those things are massive, and they did not have cranes or any of that stuff. Those were just single people that were lifting those boulders, and they use technology from nowadays, and they show that they basically the way that they built it and the reason why it lines up a certain way because what they did is they relied on shadows. So they would plant sticks in the ground and they would see the way that the sun comes off of the stick, and that's the way that they lined up the pyramids to make all three of them. Because if you see them, all three of them are lined up perfectly to the sun. So when the sun sets, it sets straight on the side of them. So it's fascinating when you
It's
when you look
physics.
at that
I love
stuff.
it. Mhm.
Yeah.
That's on my bucket.
No,
I have to
I'll
maintain.
check that out. I'll definitely have to check that out. I have been what? Obviously, I got the final episode of Winning Time. I need to finish. I've been watching the newest episodes of Power Book 4 Force. I'm a big Power fanatic, so this is Tommy's show. Liking the second season so far. Um, really, his mom is really. I'm glad that they're giving his mom Kate. They're adding more layers to her character, so I've been appreciating that. And the thing that I've been watching, and definitely want to hear your thoughts, Miss Peacherino. I've been watching Game of Thrones, and first of all, these white folks are wild. This is the one show that I am happy that there's not too many black folks in. Like, this is the one show that I don't really complain about diversity issues in the casting, because I'm like, these guys are animals. But
Don't watch
this is a
House.
show that I struggle. Okay, are
So
you? I'm looking forward to that.
so there's a lot of black people in House of the Dragon. That's all I was saying. But and it's great.
Okay. Oh no, I did see the casting. I did see like when they had the promotional photos. So I'm looking forward to watching House of Dragons. But I'm on the end of season 6. I know I got 2 more seasons to go. Um, I love the show. I get it. I absolutely get it. There's no limits to how crazy this show gets. Now, um, I'm here for Khaleesi. I'm here
Period.
for the Mother of Dragons. Period. 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 Jon Snow, the way people used to hype up Jon Snow when the show was on, I don't get it. I don't see it. I like first of all, spoiler alert for whoever hasn't watched. It's like you pass your statute of limitations.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're
Um
waiting.
I haven't watched
he
it, and I don't plan on it, so it's fine.
look when when they betrayed him in the when the Night Watch betrayed him and stabbed him and called him a traitor because he's
Mhm.
like, yo, you sold us out to the wildlings. I'm like, you kind of did. All right. And then it's just like, then I just finished watching the Battle of the Bastards. Sansa
Mm.
saved him. Okay. Sansa saved him. So I'm just like, maybe if you're telling me, okay, in season 7, season 8, John, like the justification of Jon Snow is there. I'm saying almost 6 full seasons in, I think he's overrated. I don't get it. I'm just, I find him annoying.
let me tell you something.
Please do.
Spit, okay? Tell your truth. Speak your truth, King. Let me tell you something. I love when people watch like stuff like this. I'll tell you my little secret show that I haven't seen that the owner and founder of what we watch should not say this on record, but I will. But that means you've seen Hard Home, which is one of my favorite episodes. I used to be called Hard Home Mo on Twitter
Okay.
before I became Miss Peacherino. So that means you've seen that. And so Jon Snow, I think the hype was because of his attractiveness, which always matters again in the business,
Of
um,
course.
but also because he was a good fighter. Outside of that, I hear you. Honestly, and you're on the right track, is what I'm going to tell you. You're on the right track. When you get to season 8,
And
the
I'm prepared for that disappointment. I have
you'll
heard from everyone. I'm prepared for that disappointment.
but you're on the right track. Then you know that the mid was selling this whole show, and he ended up being the mid that he is, and that's where we are. So I don't blame you. I also don't blame you for taking a very long time to watch season 1. So I joined Game of Thrones during the end of season 2,
Okay.
which was probably 2013, 2014, 2013. 2012, 2013. So, and it was very difficult to get through that first season. So do not feel bad. But boy, did it turn up after that. And
Yes, it did.
my favorite seasons are 3, 4, 5, and 7. So I'm very excited for you to see
Okay.
7. It's great. It's even better than 6 to me. But then I don't know that there are any other seasons outside of those. So
Yeah. Cersei, she's wild.
love
She is
her.
wild. Yeah. So do I. I am here for
Good,
Cersei. What?
good. It's good because people that don't like Cersei, I don't trust them
Oh, I
because
love. I'm here for Cersei and Khaleesi.
good.
Yeah.
That's a smart man.
Uh,
It's a wise man right there.
yeah. Jon Snow. I'm just like, um, okay. What? All right. Um, and I just finished. You know me. Out of everyone that died, the one character that I was really upset that died. What's the big creature name? Was it Woon Woon or One?
Mm.
The big giant, like big abominable snowman. When he died, when they filled him with the arrows, I was just like, damn.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Oh God, what? That's so long. Why don't I know this name?
It's like one or yeah, something like that. Um,
The I know who you're talking about.
yeah, big giant abominable snowman. You always see him in every battle. He's like 30 feet tall.
That was
Yeah, he
early
was.
on, wasn't it? Or
No,
was that?
he just died in season 6.
Yeah, this was later. You're not talking about Giant's Bane. He's a big guy, but you're talking about like the abnormally
Yeah,
tall.
that like he looks like an abominable snowman.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the one character. Obviously Tyrion for seasons 1 through 3, he was just wild, just wild. Peter was it Dinklage? Yeah, he
An
did his
icon.
thing.
An icon. He's
Icon.
stints. He has a couple running right now. It's great.
Absolutely, absolutely. But look, this has been one hell of a conversation with Miss Peacherino. You guys know the vibes. Please shoot follow us on Twitter, um, YouTube, X, whatever, Threads, IG. We are at Purple Gold Mines. Miss Peacherino, we thank you so much for joining us this week. And please, we'll love to have you back sometime soon.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. Miss Peacherino with What We Watch. It's www Film TV on Twitter, X, Instagram, and whatwewatch.net is our community website. Thank you for visiting.
Please follow and support. Great spaces, great conversations, and you know what? You might will you'll definitely get some new things to add to your watch list. And hey, we will be back. Join us this upcoming weekend. We will be watching the Oregon and Colorado game, college football on playback. Follow our playbacks. We'll be watching all the Laker games in there. whole bunch of watch parties, playback.tv/PGM fan cave. I am Born Rebel, aka Zen. That is my purple and gold mine brother, chasing number 18, the context king. We are ending this episode. We will see you next week with episode 12, The Dirty Dozen. Peace. And that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you so
I
much.
run so,
Truly
so
appreciate it.